welcome back, or welcome to the next episode of the Pit Lane Yappers. I'm Max.
And I'm Rosie, and this is our Spa recap. Every time I say that, I try and think of a cute alliteration or something, and it just never happens.
Doesn't work. This was a sprint weekend.
Yep, a lot going on.
That's all I have to say about that. Also, Pirelli didn't bring one of the tires. They said, you know what, we're just going to crash that for the weekend. Good luck. And then guess what? The weather went,
Yeah, the weather all weekend was not great.
Basically, well, Pirelli was trying to push a 2-stop race. They didn't realize it was going to be raining, which then led to a 2-stop race no matter what, basically. Unless you were, like, maybe 2 people.
But could you...
That's a lie. Literally half the grid did a 1-stop, but...
Could you imagine, like, thinking it wasn't going to rain in Spa? Like, it always rains.
Well, I mean, they said it was going to be sunny in Silverstone, so, like, at this point, I just think they don't have a weatherman.
Yeah, but, like...
Or the access to weather.
You could just look out the window.
Kind of giving Haas last year with the cup on a string.
Listen.
Honestly, if it worked.
Shall we go into...
It did work.
Shall we go into practice?
Yes. So there was only one practice session. So, FP1, which, you know, everyone, that was Rosie's chair. Just clarifying that sound.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't, like, it won't stay reclined on its own.
You just have to clarify that, because if you don't see it, it sounds wrong.
Yeah, I'm not.
But anyways.
Gassy.
FP1. FP1 was really important because it was the only practice session, and guess what? Williams had a critical problem.
Shock. Are we surprised?
But they weren't the only one.
No.
Lance also was reporting a problem.
That's also not shocking.
Yeah.
So sorry to you.
But it was weird. I will say Williams, it was weird that only one driver was having these critical problems. Like, only Carlos and Lance. Like, Fernando and Alex were like, no, the car's great.
Well...
Did it last? No. But...
Red Bull brought a new cooling system and front suspension. Ferrari brought upgrades, but that's largely irrelevant, I think.
Also, they also said Ferrari brought their last upgrade of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Largely irrelevant.
But also they said the reason, I think it was Sam Collins who said it. I can't remember if they asked Sam Collins or they were just theorizing and said we have to ask Sam Collins and then just didn't ask. But this is the track where Max is probably the best. So usually he takes his penalty for his new PU unit. So they were bringing upgrades because they were expecting to need the new PU. And then he didn't take it.
Yeah. Well, I'd say the only other note that I've got that hasn't been mentioned is just track limits, because everybody was getting track limits.
Yeah. I have a few. One is Ocon went P2 for like a good 15 minutes with McLaren's and Mercedes and Red Bull and Ferrari on track, and everyone was like, hello? And then we had a bit of an issue with Lewis Hamilton and Bortoleto. Bortoleto complained about Hamilton's driving, and I will say, everyone on F1 TV was saying Bortoleto has the right to complain, because right after Charles also complained about Hamilton, they just didn't air it. But it seemed like Lewis Hamilton fans only had the problem with Gabby complaining about it, and this went on.
It's probably because Gabby's new as well.
Yeah.
So they, I don't know.
Also, it's not his teammate, so they were like, his teammate obviously is going to complain. Also, there was a Daniel Ricciardo mention. I don't remember what the mention was. I just wrote Daniel Ricciardo. I can't remember. Okay, there goes my pen. But also before it finished, 10 minutes to go, Lance went P1. He said problems? What problems? And then he qualified.
Um,
But Oscar was P1, so he was fastest. Then it was Max, and then it was Lando.
Solid.
Which, not shocking, because it's Oscar's favorite track.
Yeah.
That takes us to sprint quali. SQ1, I really thought it was going to be calm, but we immediately got a pit lane infringement.
With Hulkenberg and Lawson?
Hulkenberg's innocent.
Yeah, my deal. But like, I guess.
I will say nothing really exciting happened until Hamilton spun, which brought out the yellow flag.
I don't know. Antonelli spun.
But like Antonelli, they were like, we're expecting him to spin. It's wet. He doesn't really know this track very well. But then they were talking about how much Hamilton loves this track and how much they're expecting him to like thrive. And then anytime they talk about a driver having like a good session, immediately brings out the yellow flag.
Well, yeah.
And I will also say, I think that was a big upset because they were like, he was excited, his fans were excited, and then he spun. And then he got out.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
But that basically led to Antonelli being out, Colapinto, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, and Albon. Which we have to note, Sainz did out-qualify Albon, and Bortoleto out-qualified Hulkenberg.
I mean, Albon's doing pretty well at Williams head-to-head, so no stress.
I will also say, I feel like Alex is worse in qualifying, but he's
good in a race.
Yeah, he's a lot more comfortable in the car in the race than Sainz seems to be. Sainz seems to be very good on a one-lap pace and then, like, slowly deteriorates. Yeah. But that takes us to SQ2. Oscar was flying, mind you. I was like, okay, he's getting pole position in the bag. They deleted his lap.
I was excited. Yeah, no, I was literally like...
They literally, once again, they were talking about how good he was doing. They were like, he is flying. Immediate race notes. Lap deleted, car 81.
I fear the commentators
I was like, everyone needs to
shut up.
Yeah. Also, George was really struggling. Like, and I'm not saying he's struggling and Antonelli's not struggling. It just seems like he's struggling more this year than he was last year. I feel like he still doesn't really know the car that well, even though he did win in Canada. Mercedes, I'm his good luck charm if you want to.
Canada feels like a lifetime ago.
I know. Mercedes, I'm just putting it out here. I was there for Kimi Antonelli's first F2 win. I was there for his first podium in F1, and I was there for George Russell winning. I'm free Las Vegas weekend. I'm just saying.
Brazil?
I'm also free there. I'm honestly free. Whenever you ask me to come, I'll be there. Anyways, that's all I have is Oscar flying, lap deleted, and then George struggling. And then I've
got Lando was provisional pole at the end of Q2.
I don't pay attention to that because I don't consider that important. I know we should be, but however, I'm like, there's another session, okay?
And then out was...
both Astons. Moving on.
Yeah. George, Yuki, and Lawson as well.
I feel like we need to pay attention to the Racing Bulls head-to-head because I feel like they're not really touching on how equal they are in qualifying versus the race.
It's quite nice to see a team that equal.
I also feel like Liam Lawson should have started at Racing Bulls. Like, throwing him into a Red Bull seat Ridiculous.
Oh no, totally. And can we also note this is like the first qualifying with Laurent Mekies as Red Bull team principal, and Yuki.
I'm gonna say, yeah, we're gonna talk about that because that was during the rain delay. They brought that. They
Yeah,
said that. That was
it's
crazy. But we'll
so much
SQ3.
better. Yeah.
So it's crazy. I have it
Only
down
one
here.
note
But
for Q3. Only one note.
I wonder what it is.
Piastri
Anyways,
pole.
Oscar Piastri pole position. I have one other note. I said Max pole question mark question mark question mark. You know, never mind, Oscar. That's literally what my
No,
notes say.
I think Oscar put in like the most perfect lap
And
at
this was when he
Spa.
made the new track record, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was crazy.
Um,
But I will say that when they were all like standing waiting to get weighed, the way that Max went over to Oscar and he shook his hand and
I
he said like
know.
good job or good luck or something. I was like, wow, Max is really like picking a side in this championship battle because he is so kind to Oscar.
The right side, mind you.
But Oscar was on pole position, Max Verstappen was P2, and Lando Norris P3. And that takes us into the next day, which is the sprint. Which, yes, Max did choose the championship battle. However, he did not let Oscar Piastri keep P1.
Meanwhile, over at Alpine, they are having whole battles
Franco started in the
themselves.
pit lane because they fixed the car out of curfew. And then Gasly DNS'd.
No, they said he was going to start, and then he DNS, and
And then
then
they threw him back in
2 laps
on
down.
lap 5. Which, once again, don't understand how he's 2 laps down because it's on lap 5 they put it back out.
And he was
That should be
like,
+5, but whatever.
if you were looking at the little like graphic they
The
have where you
map,
can see
yeah.
everyone
He
go
was
around,
so behind.
like,
The
why would
only
you put
reason
in?
I knew, the only reason I knew that that was happening because I was at work and I obviously couldn't watch it was
Yeah.
I went onto Twitter for my 30-minute break and somebody went, "Why is Gasly just non-existent?" And then, like, quote, 3 minutes later going, "Never mind, he's on the map."
But like, apparently Alpine were just they put him on the track just to use it as like a
It was like a
test session.
practice.
Yeah,
Wow. It's giving Miami 2024.
bro,
But Aston Martin.
your hopes are so done for that you're using the sprint race as a practice session.
But anyways, we're going back to lap 1 for a second. Max overtook Oscar for P1, and while that was happening, Charles also overtook Lando Norris for P3. It was a bad day to be McLaren for a hot second.
And it was a good
That
day.
overtake was insane.
Like, it was the exact same time, exact same beautiful, beautiful from
What?
them.
It was gorgeous. And also, while that was going on, they didn't really pay attention to it because obviously that was the battle for the lead. They're not going to go to
Yeah.
P15. Anyways, Lance overtook 2 people. He had one of the best starts. He also was the only one besides Max to overtake and keep the overtaking position.
Slay.
Because then lap 4, Lando overtook Charles for P3 again, which commentators, I don't know if you watched on F1 TV, I don't know what you watch on, but F1 TV, they were like, Lando really needs to overtake if he's staying in this championship battle. And I was like, bro.
Against the Ferrari.
First of all, it's a sprint race. Second of all, this is not Abu Dhabi. Can we please calm down?
Yeah, we've got like 11 races to go. And also, Charles is not a threat to Lando's championship whatsoever.
But whatever.
Oscar's championship, but
Then lap 5, Gasly was sent out with 2 laps down. But then lap 7, Hamilton started reporting. It was literally like the commentators were like, Oscar's pushing really hard. Maybe he'll need to do a pit stop, but like he'll be like literally P20 if he does a pit stop. And I was like, for what? He's got what, 8 more laps? Just cool it. Just cool it.
Oh, literally.
Tell Lando to slow down a bit. Okay, no, that's not how it works, everyone. I'm just saying. But lap 7 is literally as they were talking about it, Hamilton came onto the radio and he's like, I have no rear tires, no grip, none, 0. What are you doing to this car? And that's all I have. That's literally it.
It was pretty.
The rest was boring. But dun, Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen won the sprint race with Oscar in.
We are back, baby. Bye-bye, Christian Horner.
Very much a Silverstone recovery for Max, I think.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Oh my gosh. People were saying he was washed, and I was like, oh no, Max Verstappen. And then Christian Horner got fired, and I go, oh, it's okay. Max is back. And then he won the sprint. Here we go, boys and girls. But then qualifying slowly took that away. But qualifying, once again, had an unsafe release issue for Alonso. Fernando Alonso was driving, well, okay, rightfully so. Mind you, the commentators need to shut up because they were contemplating about, like, everyone, like, complaining about, like, pushing out. And, like, there were other people complaining. I think it was Charles who was like, okay, am I going out? Or this person going out? And people are like, okay, everyone wants to get out for qualifying. And then Alonso was in the fast lane. Ollie just, like, literally almost crashed into him. And then Alonso came onto the radio and was like, oh, I nearly crashed. And people were like, okay, yeah, but how many people actually crashed? I'm not even joking. 2 seconds later, the Hulkenberg and Stroll had contact in the pit lane for an unsafe release. So if that tells you anything, the commentators need to. But
yeah,
that takes us
into Q1. Silence.
Lawson went P1. And that was not because he was the first one on track. Like, he actually went P1. And I was like, what is happening? Because, like, mind you, I wouldn't be surprised if they were going P1 in, like, the practice and the sprint and stuff. But they were, like, literally struggling the entire time. And then all of a sudden he went P1. And I was like, what? But they also gave a little fun fact. This is not going to be a fun fact for you, but it's a fun fact for me. Charles Leclerc is the only driver this year to get onto the front row, but not get pole position yet.
Yeah, well, it just shows you how he's out driving his Ferrari.
But that's all I have for Q1. Do you have any other notes?
I've got Colapinto mediums and Hamilton lap deleted.
Yeah, well, I have that out because we didn't know he was out until literally after. It was like between Q1 and Q2. They were like, Hamilton time deleted.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? Which, by the way, he was off by maybe a millimeter.
Yeah.
Like, what? But that brings us Stroll, Alonso, kill me now, Antonelli, Colapinto, and Hamilton are out. It was Bortoletto.
And then Q2.
Anyways, can we note for a second? Lance and Fernando, P19 and P20.
I didn't think you would want to note that, I'd be honest.
I just don't understand. Their upgrades were upgrading. And then they brought an upgrade, and then it stopped upgrading.
I can explain that. It's Aston Martin.
I will also say they brought a downforce because it was supposed to be raining all weekend, and then every time they were on track, it was sunny. So, like, they had the wrong setup for the car, but, guys.
Well, I only have 2 notes for Q2, and one of them is Ben and Big Snap, and the other is Oscar Cunty Radio.
I have, both Racing Bulls were in Q3, And Yuki was into Q3 for the first time since Miami, mind you. And Bortoletto is now up on the head-to-head with Hulkenberg 6-7.
Also,
7-6, I guess.
Out in Q2. Are we doing that?
Yeah.
Got Sainz, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Behrman, and Ocon. So both Hasses are out.
Sainz is out and Albon is not.
Alex Albon is incredible. He's also so nice as well. Like, you hear stories of people meeting celebrities and saying how they're so horrible or whatever, but Alex Albon's actually so lovely. So
he's so nice. That takes us into Q3. Lando had a flying lap.
Yeah.
A very clean flying lap, whereas the rest of the grid that was still in had a few mistakes.
Yeah, just
and
though.
It obviously paid off because Lando Norris got pole position, which is, I feel like, what he needed after the sprint and sprint quali.
I've got Alex Albon.
Can I just
P5.
But can I just say I could never be an F1 driver because I would get P2 next to my teammate and I'd be like, well, it's over. I'm going home. I quit.
No, I'd just be like, psh, well, I'm done for.
I think I'd be Seb.
Yeah.
The sign. It's like, nope, I actually got P1. But that takes us into the race.
It was
everybody and their mother was starting from the pit lane. Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, and Antonelli were all starting from the pit lane. And they were like, hey, the formation lap is going to start behind a safety car because it's super wet. So they started their little formation lap, and they go, actually, race done.
It's too wet. And
the race was canceled on a rain delay. And this is when we found out.
80 minutes.
Kill me. And we were also, everyone was debating whether the race had technically started. So did they have the 3-hour limit of it has to start in 3 hours or it's not going to be able to start? Or did it not start because the formation lap was canceled technically, but they just were getting to the pit lane?
The race delay time was so long that Nico Rosberg started talking about Lewis Hamilton in the commentary box.
And a new Mercedes photo dropped, everyone. The rain delay was also so delayed that the Max Verstappen grandstand ran out of beer.
Did they? That'd be uproar if that happened in England.
It also was so long that they found out that Red Bull Racing actually had the new floor for Yuki Tsunoda that they said they didn't have, and Christian Horner was actually saving it in case Max needed it.
Yeah, don't. Absolutely.
Menkes was like, that's not happening. Gave Yuki the floor. Yuki got into Q3. Sorry, not SQ3.
I need Horner's head on a spike ASAP. Because what do you mean?
Listen. Maybe Max is selfish like that. I just personally cannot believe that Max Verstappen knew that was happening. Because literally, he has said multiple times, he's like, yeah, Yuki deserves that seat. I don't know why they didn't put him in there in the first place. And also,
you need a second driver to be able to somewhat match you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, we need to talk about what Max Verstappen said about Mercedes. They were like, so they were talking about this during the rain delay too on F1 TV. Basically on Thursday, media day, they were like, hey Max, so the rumors are you're going to Mercedes. What do you have to say about that? And he goes, well, I might not wake up tomorrow, so then I wouldn't be driving for anyone.
Literally so fucking funny.
Bro's talking about death more than I am. Like, what? Are you okay? Do we need a therapist intervention here?
I can send you my sertraline.
Anyways, that was an 80-minute intervention. I'll put the Mercedes photo here.
or later somewhere. We got new Mercedes photos, so that was crazy. But then they finally announced saying, hey, it's going to be sunny, but it might rain in like 20 minutes. But we're going to try to do the entire hour and a half race in 20 minutes. So that means we're going to start as a rolling start.
Yes, behind the safety car.
For 5 laps.
Yes.
And then actually, you know what? Those 5 laps that were supposed to be the rolling start actually weren't the start, but we are counting them in the 5 laps, so we can beat the rain. So let's start now.
On lap 5.
What? But anyways, lap 5, because they were behind the safety car so much, and it was Lando, Oscar, and Charles, and then Max. And so Charles was trying to beat off Max, who then in turn, well, because Charles was trying to keep Max behind him, he had to kind of like be on Oscar's tail a bit, and Oscar was like, no, not on the restart, you're not having no. And so Oscar then like was really close to Lando the entire safety car, and so Lando had 0 battery at the restart.
Yeah.
And Oscar had almost 90%.
Anyway, that overtake was
Oscar overtook
easy.
Oscar overtook Lando before turn 1.
And I will say, Eau Rouge and down the camel straight.
I felt so bad for Lando because Lando came on the radio and he's like, so do I just not have a battery pack or what? And they go, no, you used it all. Like they said nothing else other than no, you used it all.
But like,
I was like, you couldn't have told him that in like the beginning before the restart, being like, hey bro, you might want to cool it a bit.
By the end of this lap 5, Oscar had a 1 second margin on Lando already.
Crazy.
I've also got that George overtakes Alex while that's happening.
Yeah, that was kind of happening the entire race though.
Yeah.
But Hamilton overtook Sainz on lap 8. I always know when Hamilton and Sainz are going at it because, you know, Hamilton went Ferrari, took Sainz's seat. I do say took Sainz's seat. I'm well aware the contract was up, everybody. I just don't know how else to say it.
Also,
that was also the lap that... okay, well, before that happened, Antonelli went off. He, like, spun right off. And he was like, sorry, guys, and then got back onto the track. And then Hamilton overtook about 13 people.
Yes, Hamilton overtook Sainz and then Hülkenberg and then Gasly. And then he picked for slicks.
Mind you, pit lane start.
So...
crazy.
I would like to know if the pit walls hear each other's radios, because as soon as they were like, Hamilton, do you want to pit? Like, Lewis, do you want to pit? And he goes, yes. Hülkenberg, Gasly, and Alonso all pit too.
I don't know. I think maybe they do hear each other because they try and do the dummy calls sometimes, don't they?
Right?
Which would really piss me off.
But I don't know if it's just seeing everybody coming out into the pit lane. I don't know. But then lap 13, Oscar pit.
Yes.
Onto medium tires. And then lap 14, Lando pit for hard tires.
There was an issue with the Lando's pit stop. I'm sure the pit crew kicked themselves for it, but front left.
We also need to have a conversation about Lando's fans, because they were like, why is Lando getting the worst strategy? Oscar would have to pit again. Okay? Usually. When he's on medium tires, when they put medium tires on that lap time for Spa, usually they would have to do a 2-stop race. Okay?
Yeah.
So they gave Lando hard tires to try to overtake and undercut Oscar. They asked Lando, would you like to go on hard tires to try to do a 1-stop while Oscar does a 2-stop? And he says yes. And then they're blaming his strategy. Mind you, he had the better strategy. Oscar just knew how to keep his tires clean.
He has put those tire muncher allegations to bed.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while that was going on, Hadjar pit for a 3rd time on lap 21.
Did he? I wasn't paying attention to Isaac.
Nobody was. And then, I don't know who it was. I think it was Julian Palmer. He goes, Hadjar just came in for a 3rd pit stop. And everyone goes, I'm sorry, what? Why?
But when Lando came out of the pits, he was 9.1 seconds behind Oscar.
And for his, like, just to talk about how crazy that is, literally everyone's like, okay, he's gonna have to basically ruin his tires for the next whatever many laps, to even get in DRS zone range of Oscar. But the good news is Oscar will never have clean tires like Lando. Lando has the tire advantage. He just needs to keep it clean and just press on it. And they were like, another good thing for Lando is Oscar's so far in advance that he's going to have all the blue flags, and he's most likely going to get into the corners where they can't move over exactly right when they got the blue flags. So it's going to slow Oscar down to give Lando the advantage to try to move up.
Yeah.
But then he had a moment on lap
lots of moments.
26 or 27. He had a moment
Um, they just said, "Oh, and Lando had a moment." Never replayed it. Didn't say what it was.
I
And I
think
was
he
like,
just, but that took about a second out of his
yeah.
advancement, and
Um,
then he had another moment, I think.
closer, like on the second to last lap.
Yeah,
Hit a moment
and
that was a
he
moment.
like locked up. He was only like a second and a half or so behind
He went too
Oscar.
hot in the corner.
But that pretty much sealed the deal after
But
that.
before we get to the finishing part, lap 28, Carlos was shown a black and white flags for track limits.
Oh.
Bro was fighting demons. And then lap 30, Nando pits for no reason, just for fun. You know,
Why not?
why not? It's Aston Martin, why not? And then lap 33 is when they find out that McLaren goes onto the radio and goes, "Hey, Oscar, you're going to do a one stop."
Yeah, Oscar
Up
was
until,
like, oh, I think,
mind you, Lando pit for hard tires at lap 14 when they were like, Oscar's going to do a two stop. We didn't know until lap 33 that Oscar wasn't pitting again. And they are saying, "Oh, McLaren sabotaging Lando." He got the better strategy until Oscar was like, "Yeah, I can do one stop." I
yeah,
just
I think McLaren were expecting Oscar to be a lot worse on the medium tires than he was, and I
because
think if anything,
for
he's
the
gonna
record,
secure.
because Oscar has been pretty bad on medium tires before. He has been pretty wasteful with his tires. Rosie will pretend he's not, but he is. He's not the best at managing his tires. Neither is
He
Lando.
wasn't. He wasn't in
Now he
his
is.
rookie.
I will also say this is his third season, so like he's learning.
Yeah.
But and then lap 39 was Charles's best radio of the race.
Leave me
Brian went on the
alone.
radio and he's like, "Hey, so you're this close to Verstappen," and he goes, "Leave me alone. Leave me alone." That's all he said. Icon.
He did.
What a
He
legend.
did go. You're giving me too much information. I can't concentrate. Essentially, was the gist of the radio. But
Yeah.
I will say the whole race, Max and Charles, they do know how to race each other. It was
And
very
cleanly.
lovely. It was nice to see people like someone who knows how to race Max without getting front wing up their tire.
Yeah. But
That
then the
was good.
rest of the race were pretty boring. It was really pretty boring. I really did think Lando was going to overtake Oscar because they were like, he has 3 laps to close like a
I had
4-second.
faith.
I didn't. But they were like, Lando has a 4-second gap by the end of it, by like 4 or 5 laps to go, and they're like, he is speeding up and Oscar is slowing down. I went, uh-oh, because he
Yeah,
had the Newark tires. Like, I'm like, uh-oh, they're
but
probably
then
going
he,
to say swap positions if this gets.
I
But then
would
he
have
locked
killed
up
myself if
into
they
a
said
corner.
that.
Probably, sorry, they
Yeah,
wouldn't say swap positions. They said papaya rules. Sorry, let me get that straight. But anyways, then he locked up, which basically sealed the deal that he would not keep up. And right after that, McLaren came onto the radio and was like, "Hey, Lando, we're trying to keep these to the end. Please, no unnecessary like moves." And I was like, "Girl, you just told Lando to stop locking up." Mind you,
girl, don't you think he knows that?
can I just say that I think it was Mercedes said that to Antonelli last race or 2 races ago. I can't remember. Do you think they don't know that? Like,
Like,
imagine telling a man whose entire job is to drive really fast, not to lock up is something he knows.
it's also like telling him that like he doesn't know that his championship is on the line.
Like, what? Anyways, That was like the end of the race. Nothing really exciting happened after that.
It was a 1681 podium, everybody.
It was Oscar
Lando
P1,
was also there.
Lando P2, and Charles P3. Oscar is officially a race winner at Spa, his favorite track. And his granddad was there, and he dedicated the win to his granddad. We also learned a new fun fact about Oscar, that he doesn't know how to spell guess.
Yes.
I don't even know what he was attempting.
Yeah. I will say very 1681 vibes. Oscar in that championship lead over Lando is now 16 points, which is nice. Of a bit of a
But we
breather for
also this weekend is Hungary. The
Yes.
infamous gaslighting of Lando last year.
Yes, very
and
strange.
The birthplace of papaya rolls.
Beautiful, well deserved win from.
Yeah.
If McLaren pulls shit like that on the pit wall again, I will be there.
I'm pulling up. Don't worry, everyone. I'm pulling up. I don't care which driver it is. I'm pulling up because we are leaving gaslighting our own drivers back in 2024.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'd say the most notable driver, and he's also my winner as well, if we want to do winners and losers, is of the weekend, and particularly the Sunday, is Hamilton.
Same. I have him as my winner.
Pit lane to P7.
Crazy.
Just proving.
It was prime Hamilton.
Yeah. It just proves.
I felt like I was watching Hamilton in like 2021.
Yeah.
He was like fighting for the wins all the time with Matt. I was like.
But like.
And he got driver of the day, so.
Yeah, deserved. And it's
like, why didn't Oscar get driver of the day? And I was like, no offense, he overtook one person and then just kept the lead.
You go online and then you see people say Hamilton's washed, and then you see races like today that just.
It's just like in 2023 when people were like, "Oh, Max deserves driver of the day." I'm like, for what? Taking a nap? Like what?
Being a pit lane, being a pit stop ahead of everybody else. People on Twitter are saying, "Oh, surely Verstappen dominance wasn't this boring." But at least with McLaren dominance so
at least
far,
it's going back and forth.
They're only like.
And there's also different race winners.
Yeah, and also that I'd say the furthest they've been ahead is like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So they could still risk it on a pit stop or whatever.
McLaren's getting that constructors championship, unless they like literally DNF for like 5 races.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, yeah.
So like that is boring, but like I'm more interested in the drivers championship than like the constructors, because I'm like, okay, well, of course McLaren's gonna win. They have a dominating car. Of course they're gonna win.
Yeah, it's gonna be a double McLaren championship.
But like, which McLaren? It's still exciting. It's not like, oh, was it gonna be Max or Checo? Like, it was always going to be Max.
Yeah, so sorry to Checo.
Anyways,
well, cool.
Our losers.
Checo. We may see him. We'll know
about this weekend. Apparently, Cadillac is making an announcement during Hungary weekend.
Well, good, because we're more than halfway through the season and we don't have shit.
But anyways, our loser. We didn't do our losers.
My loser for the weekend in total, not just the Sunday, is Gasly.
Oh, mine is Aston.
Because, what do you mean Alpine put you in the sprint? Just more information.
I genuinely think I would end my life in front of Flavio and say, this is how I'm changing the trajectory of your life because you've changed mine. Horridly, by the way. But mine is Aston Martin because what happened? We were literally fighting for a podium. We were fighting for a freaking podium last race, and then we're fighting for P19.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Anyways, Hungary is, well, yesterday. Happy birthday, Fernando Alonso. Aston Martin, this is his birthday weekend. Don't screw it up. Don't you screw it up. I will be in your walls so fast. Anyways, it's
What
Hungary.
is he, 44?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still get it.
Okay.
Anyways,
Okay.
that was it for Spa.
Yeah. See you
We will
next
see
week.
Next week for Hungary.
Yay. Bye.
Bye.